The people who call market trading gambling don't know the markets anyway. So you're wasting your time talking to these people. It's like talking to a wall. You know, it's like if you throw me in, if I'm walking down the aisle at Walmart with 50 people, one person there might know what I'm talking about. It's like with families. Our families don't know either. And our friends don't know. But it's not their fault they don't know. It's just the way the world is.
Just a quick pause before we get into this. Trading can be intense, and staying mindful during your session matters so much. That's why I created and am sharing a free 3-part audio experience that's helped me deeply. 1, for starting your day with calm intention. 1, to stay centered while you trade. And 1, to wind down with grace when it's time to stop. These tracks are yours. Just click the link in the description. Hey, welcome back. Here at the Market Mamas podcast, I cover a wide range of topics from the intricacies of day trading to mindset mastery and psychological growth, with the goal of the conversations being next level growth for all of us. My name is Becky, and I'm a US-based futures day trader from the Pacific Northwest. My trading experience includes trading stocks, options, crypto, and futures, with both trading a personal account as well as with prop funding companies. Over time, I found that I most enjoy the fast-paced world of intraday futures trading, so that is my primary day trading focus now. Thank you for joining me on the Market Mamas podcast today. Hey, so I am so excited today because I get to talk to not only another trader, but someone who works behind the scenes in the prop trading world. And so I have so many questions, and I'm so pleased to be able to welcome our next guest on Market Mamas podcast. This is Mike Tolbert. Mike, thank you so much for being with me today.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to be here. It's nice meeting you.
So let's just start. You are a futures trader, right?
Yes, I'm a futures trader, and I also own BluSky.pro, which is a prop firm in the prop firm space.
Okay, so how long have you been trading? That probably was the start of everything for you.
Oh, let's go back to the bad days.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
We all have them.
I would probably say 8 or 9 years at least 8, 9 years back.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
How'd you get into trading, if I could ask? Did you know someone?
Actually, it was kind of like just hearing about trading and thought I could do this, but then, you think you can when you first start. I got into penny stocks first, and I really just didn't really like the way it flowed for me because I was always waiting for it to move and then sitting there every day and seeing it not going anywhere. I'm like, oh my God, this is really real. So then I got into, after that, I kind of dabbled in the stocks a little bit, kind of learning more and more as you go. And once I got the stocks down, and I was getting pretty good at them, and now I can read stocks pretty well, but it takes a long time. But after I got into stocks, I thought I need something else. This is just, I'm good at this, and I don't really like penny stocks that much, but I've got this down. Now, what can I do to enhance it? Should I go to options? I really didn't care for options that much. Or should I go try this something else? Well, I didn't have a clue about futures at the time. And I had met a guy who traded the London markets and futures markets. And he invited me to a Discord one day and said, hey, actually it was like, I don't even think it was Discord. It might have been a Zoom or something back then. But anyway, we were talking and he's like, look at this. I'm like, wow, this is interesting. So I seen the NASDAQ and the Dow and all that. I'm thinking, wow. So I got into futures from then on, and that's where I've been ever since.
I love futures. When I started trading, it was like futures and stocks, and people did both. And swing trading was generally advised to start with swing trading because it's, lower leverage, a little bit longer time frame. So it's kind of a gentler start. But futures was definitely the draw for me too. Like, it's so appealing how it works and how quick you can make money.
Yeah, it's just that, it's a better side of it to me. There's more, you can make there's a lot of risk in it, but
yeah,
there's also good rewards if you do it right. And you've got so many things to trade, like oil and gold and silver, copper, NASDAQ, Dow, it's all, I like to focus mostly I will focus on the NASDAQ a lot. That's 90% of my trading. It's just depends on what oil and stuff are doing before I trade or not. But I don't sit up all night like I used to either. When you first start,
I think that's so funny because I totally resonate with exactly what you're saying. Like, in the beginning, it's like, it's hard and you check out everything and then you do.
Yeah.
I remember staying up all night and checking on it in the middle of the night. And now I'm like, I gotta balance it.
You remember going from those? I remember back when I first started, I was glued to screens. Like, it was my best friend. Like, it was the only thing that mattered in life was the screen. And it almost becomes an addiction. And it really kind of did for me. And I mean, if you think about it, with the back testing I've got and all the hours I spent doing it, my old job, I had 11 hours a night free time. So I have 11 hours a night for 7 or 8 years of back testing. I have a lot of back testing. But the thing about it, that's what made me a good trader was all the free time. But then during the day, I wouldn't sleep either because I was, oh my God, I got to be at that 9:30 open, you know? And it's like I had to be there. I don't care if I'm driving down the road in my car, there's a laptop with me. I got it on the internet. You know, it was nuts. But it it's part of the journey. It's part of what we go through as a person. It's that we know the market's there, the market's good to make money in, and it's something we want to do. And we've heard other people do it and make money at it, make good money at it, and we want to conquer it too. But they don't tell you what the real truth is. That, you know, there is a key to this. Patience, um, not being on charts all the time. I tell my traders and every other professional guy I met, you know, they always ask me, "Oh my God, what are your best times to trade?" I said 9 a.m. to 11. Done. You can make more money between 9 a.m. Well, 9:30 open. I get on at 9 to review charts, but 9 to 11 is my time. If I can make the money between 9 and 11, usually it's put 4 10 o'clock. I'm done anyway. But 9 to 11, if you can just structure that out with one or if say if you're trading like an eval for a prop firm or trading your own money, you're just getting started. You want to go in there with low risk, one contract or micros, 4 micros, 3 micros, just to get started, something small to keep you from being crazy. Because we all know when you lose money, it starts making you feel different.
Yes.
And I don't know about you personally, but when I was first started trading, it was funny because I had this, I would sit down and I think it's like emotions. You kind of get this like sweaty palms and like this different person comes over you and you're afraid to make a trade. You're like, should I do it? And then you do it and it goes bad. You're upset. And that the minute you get upset is the minute your day is going to go to crap. And we all know it because it just all rolls downhill and it gets worse and worse and worse. And that's part of the revenge trading thing. But yeah, that's pretty good. And you can ask me questions if you want to.
Yeah, I feel like every trader kind of goes through exactly what you talked about because when you're in the beginning and you figure out that you can make money, it is addictive because you're just so drawn in. You're like, I want to know everything. I want to gobble up every piece of information that I can get and then figure out how to get better at it. And then you have to figure out, I think once you get deep into that, okay, this is actually kind of hard on my body, my system, my family, the people around me. And so then you've got to find a balance with it. And that's different for everyone too, like how long it takes, how deep they get into the world before they realize they need to seek air.
You'll blame everybody for your trading until you start blaming yourself. You'll blame your cat, your dog, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend. It's everybody else's fault but your own kind of thing. I did it. I mean, you can ask my traders. I'm very, very honest with people about trading. And some of the guys, you know, that have traded with me live and some of the guys I've taught to trade because I do teach for free. Um, it's like they're like, man, you're like so upfront and honest about your journey. I'm like, well, I don't want you to have the journey I had. I mean,
Can
if you go through my journey, your problem won't make it because
right.
there's been times, excuse me, there's been times when I wanted to quit and I just wouldn't give up, you know, and I think it's a part of us. We don't want to quit something that we know we can do, but it'll beat you.
So what
The
did you
markets
do
will.
when you were going through, if there was a period of struggle where you're like trying to figure out how to not be addicted but keep learning and deal with the emotional downside when you have a really hard day? Because every trader has really hard days where they take
Yep.
an early loss and then the psychology struggles start and then they slide down that revenge, chasing FOMO, anger, depression. And then that you can get stuck in a cycle with that. Like how did you get out of that like lowest low in your early career?
Well, back then, I smoked cigarettes back then, so I smoked about 6 packs a day. Not really, but you're smoking a lot because you're like all anxiety. Um, but I quit. I actually quit during trading. I quit smoking during trading. Imagine that, right? Um, but the thing, I think how I dealt with my emotions, I started learning that sitting and being mad was wrong. And I thought, what can I do to get out of this? How am I going to fix me? It's not the markets, it's me. I got to fix myself. So I started saying, okay, every time I get mad from now on, I'm not going to throw shit, which I did. I don't get mad at my computer. I'm not going to get mad at somebody else. I'm going to get up from here. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to take a walk around my block. And I did. I went for a short walk. Like it was in matter of 6 minutes. And I went for a walk, come back, took deep breaths, went back in, sat back down. Even though I had losses, I'm like, do I really want to trade anymore? And for some reason, during that walk, I would talk myself out of going back into my day most of the time. It's just you have to have like a,
break
I
it.
guess, your own policy,
Yeah.
what you're going to do and what you're not. But we know we break those. You can sit and tell yourself every day sitting at this computer, I'm not going to take another trade. I'm not going to do it. Boom. And you'll take it.
Yeah.
Because the longer you sit there, the more you're going to trade.
Because you're watching the candles print and you're like, well, shoot, maybe it is actually doing the setup finally and I can see it playing out. Now it's going to work. Like now I've got this. And you can talk yourself into a lot. But I love that tip because like walking and getting fresh air, I think are two of the most powerful things because you move your body. And so you kind of get out of your head and into your muscles a little bit. And then the fresh air makes deep breaths. And that can break the trance almost of like watching every move of the market. And then that's how I talk myself out of going back in too, is just if I can get some distance from my chart, then the rational brain can come back in and be like, my process is to not take a trade right again after a loss or whatever.
Well, I always tell everybody that I meet, here's my philosophy in trading. If you can take a trade and take a shower, you know what you're doing. You know, if you can walk away from the computer while your trade's going, because I do. I'll go take showers or whatever, come back. And people are like, why, how can you do that? Because I know how to read it. I know what's going on with it. So when you get to that level of comfort, that's when you've really, really, really gained, the experience when you can actually walk away from a trade and go, wow, I'll let it go, let it run. And it's not a big deal.
This is my opinion on that, is that the way that you get to that, what you're talking about, where you can walk away from a trade and trust your stop and your target entry orders is because of experience. I think that the only way to actually get there is putting in the hours, right?
You have to, because just like if you're a pilot, you got to go to school to fly a plane. I don't just jump in a plane and fly one because I want to, because you're not going to last long. And the same thing, it applies to trading. The longer you now I know that people say you're not supposed to trade a long time and sit in front of the charts, but if you will sim and learn, sim and learn, sim and learn, sim and learn, even if like say you're taking an eval through BluSky or anybody else, and you're wanting to pass an eval, when you're not trading if you take one trade a day just to get started, kind of learning what you're doing, and you say you got some kind of little thing you're working on, but it's not going so great, take time and back test and figure out what's going on in these markets. And most people, I can ask most people, hey, when you look at the chart, what do you see? They go, what do you mean? What do you see? I mean, what can you tell me about this chart that I don't already know? I want to hear it from you, not from me telling you. I want you to tell me. And 90% will be like, I don't know what you mean. And I'm like, okay, then we got to go back to this area. Because before you can learn how to trade, you've got to learn what the patterns are in trading. You've got to learn the structure of a market. Structure is the key to trading the futures. If you can learn structure, you can make a lot of money with structure. And I mean, I can break it down for you sometime live. We'll do it together and let people see it, and it's like, I can go on the charts in the morning and tell guys, now I don't know, you probably haven't seen me trade, but I come out every morning at 9:00 with my own levels of where the market's going to go all day. And I put those levels out a lot of times online for people to see in the rooms, in the Discord and stuff like that. But they'll come back and go, how did you know it hit that top level today? And then went all the way back down to the bottom one. I'm like, yeah, that's the experience. That's learning how to read what you're doing. But it takes a long time to get there. But you have to get through that first phase of your life of being the crazy trader, the one that's failed a million times, because we all have. I mean, we've all lost our real money. We've all done that. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just part of a journey. It's like becoming a doctor. They tell you to take tonsils out in your training class and you didn't. You took out something else. So, and, and for us, it's the same way. We have to learn the system.
You don't know what you don't know. And the only answer is to try and find good mentors that seem like they know what they're learning, and then take their knowledge and then watch it in the market and feel it, and put your hat on the line, like throw your hat in the ring and put a trade on and experience how she moves and why and what reacted at that level and what that reaction looks like and how it feels to be in a trade when it starts moving. I think that is so powerful. And then that's, helps cement. If you think you know structure, trade it and then see if you know it, figure out what doesn't make sense, ask a mentor who's been in the game longer than you questions about it. And then I think that's how you really can figure it out, is just literally seeing it react and then figuring out, working backwards of like, why, how did we know that level was there? How did Mike come up with his levels? Asking you questions, seeing them work.
So basically we have guys that do absolute free mentoring. We've coached free. We train and coach free in our Discord channels. And there's somebody in my Discord live every day at 9 o'clock, Monday through Friday from like 9 to 4. He's there every day, and he helps. And it does help people.
And that's within BluSky, correct?
Yes, that's one of them BluSky. And the reason we do is because back in the day when I was doing it like full time, I've gotten seriously busy now and I can't. So I still pop in like 1 or 2 days a week or whatever, and I'll come in the room live with these guys. But man, having Riz is in our room, having Riz in the room now, and we have a coach, Coach Matt. Coach Matt does a free class every single Thursday for free, teaching market structure. So it's really cool. We come with all kinds of cool ideas.
Yeah. And
But
that's like sort of paying it forward. Like, I think once you're a successful trader and you can extract money from the market most days, then there becomes a period of like, how else can I be in this world and help? And for me, like, this podcast is literally like, I've come so far in the years that I've been a trader that I think that there's knowledge to be gained from someone who's just weathered this period and worked through the hard times and has found success. The ways that we can like share what we've grown through and what has helped us and how we see things now, I think it's really powerful. And I love, love, love the aspect of, if you have learned something, like, let it out there and let other people like learn from it too, because that's just good energy. It's good karma. It helps, support other people in this industry, which is beautiful.
exactly, because like I tell people all the time, I was blessed with a gift. And learning this was a gift. Opening my company was a gift. So if I got a gift, I should share the gift and teach other people. My motto is 1K a day keeps the job away. And then, you pay it forward. If you can help another family or another person increase their life, it's a great thing. It's a good feeling. It really is. I enjoy seeing people go, hey, check out my new apartment. And I'm like, wow, you've been trading for like 6 months. You got a new apartment. Your girlfriend, you moved your girlfriend in with you, or you're getting married. And I think it's cool to see that kind of stuff with people. I think it relates to life, and I think that we have an opportunity, not just as a company, but as people, to look out for others and try to give them the same life that you've learned and the gift that you got. And I think it's a good thing for people to learn from others, especially in the markets.
Yeah, I think that the markets truly are really abundant if you can really figure out how to get in sync with the market and be able to safely take out little bites of profit every day. And 1K a day,
Yep.
I love that saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that is really powerful. It's a really unique opportunity where you don't have to punch a clock and you can have freedom of time and really make a significant difference in your family with the money that you can extract if you can do it carefully and not trade with money that you can't afford to lose, which is a big part of it too.
It's like I tell my guys, how can we change people's lives one trade at a time? How can we get them to see that with one trade a day, even if it's $100 a day to get started, it's going to change you. Because, if you think about $100 a day, 20 days a month, right? Over a year's time. I mean, I started when I first started we had this silly little group. we, we're going to do 500 a day, man. None of us could do it. So we would go, well, I guess 150 will work today, but we started out having these goals of what we wanted to do. And I've learned something that really taught me a valuable lesson, not to set money goals on a day, and don't. Whatever you get is what you get. If say you're going in from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock and you made $80, oh, well, 80 it is. Because if you start trying to, if the what if comes in, and I know you've heard this, traders will say, well, what if I make this, or what if I make that tomorrow, or if I make this next week, I'm going to be making all this money. That's a wrong way to go with trading. The best thing you can do is not set personal goals with money. Don't worry about where the money's at on the screen. Worry about protecting your loss. Worry about just making profits. Worry about your P&L. But the best thing to do is, the biggest thing is, most people worry about P&L, but they forget the number one key. The loss is more important than the P&L. So protect your money, make your trades, but then come in and go, hey, I didn't have a goal. I only made $50 today, or I made $100. And what kills me is I see people all the time, they say, oh, $30 an hour is not enough money to work for by the hour. I said, well, can I ask you a question? What? You just let a $30 trade get away from you. There's a $30 trade you could have took right there, got $30 out of. You can get $30 a day, 20 times a day, right? In a matter of 10 minutes. But it's the mindset. You got to get out of that mindset of 9 to 5 to be a day trader.
And I think if you're always trying to swing for a big win, you're going to be constantly disappointed, and you're going to have way more instances of FOMO and revenge trading. If you're constantly like, I didn't make $1,000 today, so I'm insufficient. I did something wrong. I need to go back in and make it up. And I think that the big game changer for me was trying to always be cognizant of, like, don't worry about the P&L and worry about trading my process, and like focusing on the absolute best trade setup that I can see, and then going for it, and then accepting the outcome and controlling the risk. I think that's how the money comes. If you're actually, like what you just said, is you're not thinking about the money. You're not thinking, I want to make 2,000 peak, and so then I need to make 400 today. You're just thinking, I want to trade as well as I possibly can. And then the money just naturally follows.
Yeah, if you trade like the process, like you're saying, you don't worry about the money, worry about your losses, because the wins will come if you protect the loss. And we all know this. And it's a hard thing for people to accept, because they lose, and then go, oh my. And they come back and go, what did I do wrong? What you did wrong was size. But like I tell people, if you can't walk away from a trade, and go get a drink and come back, your size is too big. You're oversized.
I love that you said that, because I think that's really powerful, and I didn't fully understand that, I think, in the beginning, because I wanted the big wins, and the big wins come with bigger size. But when you're not ready, that's so dangerous, and you're constantly going to like kick yourself in the ass and have to fall back and
Yep.
reset. Yeah.
I've done it many times. And I tell
Why are you
people all the
so
time, why do you, you're at a computer, you're sitting in front of that computer 8-9 hours a day. You're not married to the futures market, okay? You're only dating it. So you're just go in there, have a date, and leave. And I tell my guys all the time, and the girls that are with me too, I'm like, look, don't be married to this thing. Don't get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and try to do the London and try to do the American, and and you're going to mess your life up. You're going to mess your system up. They call it day trading for a reason. Day trading means you should be trading in the day, not at night, unless you live in London. But I mean, I used to get up at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning and trade all day long. Like, what am I doing? And I finally stopped it. I've been now for like 4 years. I don't go in the markets at all. Once it's over with, once 11 o'clock comes and I'm done, my computers are not even on. They're not even on. I don't care what it does.
Maturity level that you can get to. Like, you recognize when your highest probability for success is, and that needs to be priority, and the rest of your life needs to work for you holistically.
And turn off all the noise. You don't need to have Bloomberg going in the background to tell you how to trade. What I tell people all the time, if you want to be a successful trader, is don't trade what you hear, trade what you see. Because everybody's always trying to tell you the market's going to do this, the market. They don't know. They're not day traders.
Like, most of the time it does the opposite. Like, if you really think fundamentally this is a bad news situation, then that mother can really like pop, like, and take out all the people who have that just bias.
It's like with the FOMC meetings. I trade those. and I do live trading with those. And I tell people, 2 o'clock, we're just gonna wait. 2:30, we're gonna get in. And we're gonna do our thing. And then it just goes crazy and like, oh my God, this is really cool. I'm like, yeah, because we already know that we're not listening to these guys. We already know the time on this thing. And that's one of the fundamentals of trading, though. You don't listen to everybody else. Get your own stuff together. Don't listen to anything. Listen to you. Now you can have mentors like we do. Yeah, listen to mentors. People have been doing this and successfully for year after year after year. Those are the guys you want to look at. YouTube got people. I don't deal with YouTube people, the YouTube traders. I don't. I just don't get into all that back and forth stuff. I just don't care for it. I really just say, look, come trade with us, or we'll, come here and join our Discord, hang out with us, whatever. Learn how to trade. We'll teach you. You don't have to pay us, because I think all that charging to learn is kind of bogus.
Yeah. It's better energy, I think, when you're just like, I am a successful trader and I want that for you. And I recognize how hard it was for a period. So like, come be in my team. So how did it come about then? So you figured out how to trade and how to make money. And then how did it come about creating BluSky?
So I was one of these traders that was, trading my own money, and I was messing around with the evals and all that kind of stuff, all these other prop firms. And one day I just kind of said, to my wife, I said, I'm just over this. I just don't like the way things are. I don't like all of their systems. And I'm smart enough to know that I can do this myself. And so I basically, started out with like 4 people, and got a lot more than that now. And I kind of started it, and my motto was, hey, we're going to make BluSky different. We're going to make BluSky for the trader. We're going to make BluSky stand out. It's going to be that we care. We care about our traders. We want these traders with us, and we're going to show them the love. So we did, and we started out kind of rocky, civil systems here and there, but now it's great. And we have a lot of traders, a lot of funded traders, thousands of traders that trade with us every day. And most of them will tell you there's not many company owners that got there and go online. I do. I go online and give levels. I do classes. I coach, and I want people to know that, hey, you can do this. And if you can't do it, let us know. Tell me, hey, look, I'm terrible at this. What can I do? Come into us and we'll teach you. It doesn't cost you a dime to learn. Education's free.
That's really cool. I did love that about you, because when I was looking into you a little bit, and your experience as a trader and the fact that you do post charts and levels and your trades, and then I was like, is this really your company? Because that is actually quite rare to be the founder, owner, and decision maker of a company, but then also an active, involved trader who communicates with the people within your system, which is really very cool.
Yeah, you have to relate. You got to know these markets. And you got to be able to tell somebody, hey, look, this is the way I did it wrong. You're doing it the same way I did it. So I've done it live. The people show me their charts. I'm like, no, that's terrible. You got to get rid of that. Do this. And it's like the other day they were asking about the EMAs. I was like, well, you need to use this, this, and this. Don't use what they tell you. Use this, what I use, what the pros use. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah. But I dabble with a lot of different styles of trading. Price action, structure. I do a lot, and I kind of mix it a lot together, like tick to tick trading, like one increment of price to another price. Like I do all that too. But I just think if you're new or intermediate trader or struggling trader, that it's good to find a good place to sit down with people that really do know trading and want you to learn it. I don't, to me, I want to have the successful traders trade with us. And if they can't be successful on their own, then come on in and we'll teach you how to be successful. But you have to listen. And that's the number one problem with people. You don't like to listen.
Well, we want to be right, and we want to be like, I put time and energy into this, and I think that it's right. And so that sometimes we can be too biased to our own thought and idea and not be open enough to hear it. So that's great advice for all learning traders is to really just shut off your own noise and consider all the variables and what other people have done successfully and see if that can make sense to you. Because if we're actually open to receive information and data and a plan, you can really evolve so much faster, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it though, it's the journey, getting to the journey and becoming successful. You change, the journey changes you. Trading will change you. If you really start getting into the focus side and the calmness of you, all this comes in time, but you're going to notice that you're a different person because of the journey you took. It just makes you different. It makes you like, you look at things different, you analyze things different. Um, and I think that's what trading did for me. It's really calmed me down a lot. It's kind of weird because why would it calm you down? It makes you crazy, right? But it's the truth. And I think that if you're looking for a way to be a better trader, the first part of it starts with you getting that, getting away from all the trading, the constant trading. You got to constantly be learning, but you don't have to constantly try you know, to make money every day.
Yeah, I definitely thought early on that technical analysis and the key setups, learning those was going to be the success maker. That was how you made money, was learning where the market moves and how it moves. But I learned that was absolutely not enough to be a successful trader, that you have to figure out what's going on in your own psychology and what is cutting you down when making you give it all back. And so basically fine tuning yourself and your psychology, myself, is what actually made me consistently profitable, is because I had to really like figure out how I was self-sabotaging and then how I could shortcut that and stop the behaviors that were like kicking my butt when I wasn't seeing the market clearly.
Yeah. Well, I think that technical analysis, um, it takes a long time to learn. I think, the basic structure of a market you can do with trend lines if you know where to draw them and how to draw them. Your EMAs, if you got the right ones, there's just little certain things you can do in these markets. But when you start looking at like things like I trade, like um, Elliott Wave, like I know that I don't do Elliott Wave itself. I draw my own because I've done it for so long. Um, there's just really cool things in the market. I love the way indicators are made, but as we know now, as 2025, if you look back at some of these trading platforms, some of the indicators are old. They're lagging indicators, which I don't really use anymore. Um, and I won't say names or who has them or whatever, but there's just certain things that I don't. For me, if it's not following price, I don't need it. And that for me, that's I've always done that, and we do, and I have created my own stuff. And we do have our own algo, and we do have our own indicators that we do. And I love Renko charts. There's certain Renko charts that I really love. And I like to build Renkos. I like to sit back and get an idea and go, wait a minute, what if I do this? So, and it was funny because I had a friend of mine told me there was a guy who only traded the ES during a full moon. I'm like, what? And so like, but I mean, there's just certain people have certain ways to trade. Like, I don't know what time frames you use, but I like the higher time frames. I really like the higher time frames better than lower.
Yeah, I spent some time on the minute chart for a while, and then I kind of calmed my whole psychology down, and now I execute on the 5-minute chart, and then I use the 15 and the hourly probably are my number two backups. But then if I'm trying to hold a trade longer, I love the 2-minute Renko because it really helps me hold it. If I am trying to keep my runner for a bigger move. So those I definitely have backed away from the 1 minute, and now the 5-minute is sort of my jam. Like watching how the 5-minute candle closes, I think is can show you a lot of information.
I trade mostly on mostly 15, 4, and 1 hour, 4 hour kind of thing myself. But sometimes I've got 30 charts open.
I think making your levels based on the 4-hour chart is really powerful. I think the 4-hour levels can really give a lot of good information in the future
Yeah,
markets.
I mean the higher time frames is where you need to be looking if you're going to be trading anyway, because you can always have a higher time frame up to look and see what the 4 hour changeover is going to be. Like the 10 a.m. or the 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m. there's always a change in the market. If the market's not going to change per the day, you're going to know it on the 4 hour. A lot of time, and I tell people all the time, there's a little trick you can do also. So you know how you have the 9 o'clock or the 9:30 open, right?
Yes.
And okay, so you have 9:30 to 12. Look and see where your 12 o'clock candle top is. Okay. So draw a box on your screen from 9:30 to 12, a square box. Just
Okay.
put it on the screen and leave it there. Now look at the 12 o'clock candle. Now you're going from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock for the changeover, right? So I would take a 12 o'clock box and put 2 o'clock out on the chart below the candle and one above it. So this way I know at 12 o'clock, if I'm starting to venture in higher to the 2 o'clock box, this pretty much means that I'm going to be probably holding this trade for the long period of time past the 2 o'clock box. And normally if you'll look at some of your charts, you'll see, like, I think it was like Thursday or last week, we went up. We came down and dipped into the 2 o'clock low box, but we came right back into the 2 o'clock box out to 4 o'clock. And it's kind of cool to have the little segments on there. Now, my guys think I'm crazy sometimes. It's funny what I do. I would draw, I got emojis. I love emojis. So I got a little bull sitting here, a little bear sitting there. And I'll tell my guys, you see the bears? They're sitting right here waiting on us. If we break this level, these bulls will take this and go. And like, really? I'm like, yeah. So all you guys got to do now is wait for this price to get to these bears to see if they sell it, or we're going to cross over and go higher. But I got like golf holes, like the little golf holes, little flags. I got them all lined up on the chart, all the way up and all the way down for the targets. They're like, okay, I guess we're going to get a hole in one this morning. And it's great. I love it. So, but I love visual trading. Visual's really good.
Someone told me years ago to make the chart speak to you. So like put something on there. Like when I draw my levels, I have started, like, instead of like hourly support, watch for bears, like, so cues at least to make it your own, to make it speak to you, and like put an emoji like where you think the bears might show up is the bear head. It makes so much like a visual beauty, I think, because it's like that's where you want to see. This is what you're looking for here. And so that would look like a responsive selling situation. That's awesome.
I mean, it's people have their own way of doing it, but as you get better in this and as you go further through your journey, you're going to come up with all kinds of cool ways to trade. And you'll be like, you'll have screens up and ideas up. And I mean, I started drawing mine on poster board. Yeah. I I still got them too. I would draw stuff and show my wife. I bet you I have 100 poster boards with all kinds of drawings of things I wanted to do in trading. And it's like, no, that didn't work. And then me and a buddy of mine would test them. Like, no, that's terrible. My drawing's out the window. So we kept going back and forth. But that's exactly how I learned to get where I'm at today, is by all the poster boards, all the back testing, all the figuring out things. I've tested every indicator in this market, every one of them, everything you see on the screens that says study or strategy on several different platforms. I have been through, and I know which ones work for me and which ones don't.
That makes sense, that how you have achieved what you have achieved then, because that is showing up for the work of it. That's, if you do go to med school, you have to do prereqs to even figure out what medicine is. And then you have to get through med school where you're taught and you pay your tuition to learn. And then you don't just become a brain surgeon. Like, there is years of residency where you learn and you study and you are in the OR, and then you get to touch and then you get to do certain things. And so that is equivalent to trading, is that you shouldn't be massively successful in your first couple of years because you just don't know enough. You haven't seen enough, you haven't touched enough, you haven't traded enough to be able to have that be an appropriate expectation.
Yeah, I mean, most of us will hit that first big windfall and go, woo, like I'm the man now. And the next week it's gone. You blew it all.
Highs and lows, man, they're legit in the beginning.
You're like, wait a minute, what did I do? And you're telling all your friends, man, look what I made. Then next week you go, what do you do with the money? Oh, well, nothing. Because you ain't gonna tell them I blew it all, but you do. It's gone. It's out the door. And everybody's done it. We've all made those great trades and go back in the market the next day and lose it all again and start back from scratch.
God, those conversations with people who are not from the trading world. And it's like, you guys, day trading is amazing. I learned it. Look what I did. Like, I had a great week. And then when you go back to them, it's like, wah, wah.
Yeah. You know, as I do post my charts a lot. You've probably seen some of my
I have.
charts, and they're kind of wild, but that's just the way I trade. I like the visual trade.
Okay, so honestly, I think you kind of speak my language because my charts are busier than a lot of people in my communities, but I'm like, I think I want to know what happens at this level, so I want to have it on my chart and I want to label it for what I'm looking for at that chart. And so it is busier, but like I can tune out some of that noise. Like it speaks to me.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what you have to learn to do is to make it your own and make it, so it's not too noisy, but so that everything that's on there has value.
No, that's exactly right. Because I mean, if you can get to the point where you're drawing, you don't want to draw so much you can't see your chart, but you want to have stuff on the chart that you can reference to. And because I tell when I first started, my chart looked like spaghetti. Remember the old day when everybody used to tell us, take all that crap off there. What is all this? I had a guy look at my chart and goes, what is all this mess? This is my strategy. He said, that's the most terrible thing I've ever seen in my life. He said, I can't even see your candles.
Yes, you do have
It
to be
was
able to
so
see.
funny. I mean,
Yeah.
we were back then. We first started trading. We were trading the green and the red, the green and the red. We didn't know if
Yeah.
it goes up, we'll trade it. If it comes
Then we
down, we'll
go
try it
long.
again. And it was just craziness.
Green
But
means high, obviously.
the thing about it is like you learn little stuff that
No.
like now I look back and go, wow, I don't really have to worry about engulfing candle no more, but I know what one is. And that's the thing, learning the structure. What are these candles? What are they doing? Now, personally, I use Heikenhachi. I don't know if what you use, but that's what I use. And I like them a lot because I know if you look at if you look at a Heikenhachi candle when it first starts out, if you look at the top of a Heikenhachi candle that's in the middle of a bull run, they have no tops on them. And most of them have no bottoms either. Like the wicks, they'll have no wick. So you see that you'll see a candle, and a lot of people don't understand. Like, oh, there's like the range break trades. The range breaks are great trades if you're new, And I know you know how to do the range break trade. I'm sure. So, a lot of I tell people, look, if you don't have any of the confidence right now, just use the range break trades. Those trades are pretty much a golden trade, up or downside. But I think a big factor in the market is if you want to learn something that will help you with the markets. The markets go sideways a lot. In contraction phases. Learn how to draw a box around a contraction.
Yeah. Understand what consolidation looks like and then what a break of consolidation looks like.
Exactly, because if it's what I call contraction consolidation, if it's moving sideways, this means it's building to do something. Because there's always a move after this. No matter it's going to be somewhere. So
Yeah.
you just got to know where the top and bottom is of that box, and you're golden.
Yeah.
And that's I've been teaching this for years, and like I tell people, do you realize that while you're sitting there watching the contraction consolidation, freaking out, going, "Oh my God, it's a terrible day"? No, because when the move started and went up and went in contraction, we're all down here in the money. We've already taken the trade. We're still in it. Now we're secretly either exiting or adding. And most of the big money traders are doing the same thing during that contraction phase. They're not closing those. They're letting that big bull run, and they're holding it to see, okay, if it breaks this line and keeps going, I'm going to add more. But if it breaks this line, I'm going to go ahead and just either scale out down to one or just completely take profit. And people don't realize that during that little secret cross move, there's a lot of money wrapped up in those moves sometimes, especially in the early morning contraction areas where it goes sideways. Those are the best ones because somebody somewhere is waiting, and they're waiting to jump on it. And that's when you see those big candles, boom, go straight down. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, consolidation is not nothing. It's an accumulation or a distribution, and just have some patience. And if that is the time that you're trading and still consolidating, then you probably should scalp until there's a clear signal.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, if the market's not doing much. The market's not. I'm like, dude, just wait, give it time, because the market's just holding up. It's like a storm building. Once the storm builds, somebody's going to win here, one way or the other. And it's a lot. I mean, there's people that struggle a lot with the sideways stuff and the contraction of the market and the phase moves in the market and all that. But it's just something you can learn. Anybody can learn it. I mean, Wall Street's a good hidden secret. They don't want you learning. They want you to keep a job. You
Yeah.
know, they don't. That's why it's not in the schools. If they
Yes.
wanted us all to be day traders, they'd be teaching in high school. They don't want
Right.
that.
But the big money wants to keep the big money and they want us to do the work that keeps
They
society
want us
going
to
and
all have. They want us to
impact.
all work 9 to 5 while they trade. And
Nah,
that's the way it works. Nah, we ain't doing nine to
we
five.
coming.
Yeah, exactly.
How long did it take you, would you say, to get consistently profitable when you were learning?
Ooh, I would say at least 3 years. Consistently. Let's just be honest. 3, 4 years. It takes everybody that long. Because in
Same.
the first year, you're dabbling, you're losing, you're crying.
Yep.
You're trying to figure out why you. And then like you start, but you really got to you've got to sit down and learn it, because if you don't, that first year is going to be your 5th year, your 6th year, your 7th year. You have to get you has to figure it out. And I had a buddy of mine one time told me there's somebody in there controlling this. I said, no, there's not. It's there. People think that, and they're not controlling anything. It's you that controls you with this markets. When you learn it, it becomes like obsolete. Like now, it's weird. Once you learn these markets and you trade these markets, there's days you won't even trade. Like, I don't want to trade today. And that's what's weird about it. Yeah, I mean, I don't even look I'll get up and go, I got other things I got to do with a company. I'm not even gonna turn my charts on. And that's what I like about that's when you really have the freedom from trading, when you don't even have to worry about trading every day. You can trade one day and make 2 weeks, make your whole 2 weeks in one day and go, okay, whatever. See you later. And that gives you the freedom.
I'm the same way and I'm getting better at that. And it was not, there's that beginning period where you want it so bad and you're like almost addicted and you want to soak up everything and you have to, if you take a loss, you need to make it back. And it's such a psychological, like challenging period. But I'm finding now, I think this summer is more poignant for me because I am a mom of 3 kids. And so like, I've actually been able to be like, I'm not going to trade on Tuesday because I can make a good trade most days and I want to take the kids to the beach. And so I'm not even going to like muddy my mind of trying to sneak a trade in. I'm just going to start in first thing in the morning and go
Exactly.
head to the
Yeah.
beach. It's
I don't blame you.
feels so
And that's what I
peaceful.
tell people all the time. When you make your trades in the day, like the 9 to 11, turn it off and go do you. Go find something else to do, because
The whole point is
that's the best thing
freedom.
you can do. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can have financial freedom with the markets. You just got to learn to turn you off and get off that computer, make those trades, build your strategy, and then just make your trades and go on, and don't worry about getting back on. Don't let people tell you that, oh, you got to trade all day. You don't, because the more you trade, the more risk you got.
That's what I was just going to say. I don't know if you feel this way as well, but like if you try and trade all day, chances are it's not actually going to be a good outcome. You're not going to just make money hand over fist for 7 hours straight. Likely you will either have an early win or loss. If you have an early win, you keep trading, potentially you'll give it all back. Early loss, you're already a little tilty because of being red. And so the risk of getting into the negative habits is way higher.
It's way higher. I mean, I've seen that, through my journey. The longer I traded, the worse it got. It's like, oh, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot to do with trading. There's a lot of things we can do. We can do follow-up stuff with me and you, and I'd be glad to get on with you and do some more stuff with you. And I want to get the message out to people that, hey, look, this is a job. This is like nursing. You're going to have to learn it. This is something that we all do. We've all been there. We've all been to that school, you know. And
Put in your time if you want it bad enough.
yep. I'll tell you what, the person told me one time. I was in Nashville, Tennessee. I met one of the biggest, I won't say his name, but he's a Wall Street trader, but really, really good Wall Street trader. And I got a chance to meet him, and I said, hey, man, what's your best advice for me? He looked at me flat out, straight cold, and said, due diligence. Do your own due diligence. If you want to make it where I'm at, you want to wear the gold watch I'm wearing, do your own due diligence. I go, what is due diligence? What he
Make it
meant.
your own. Show
And
up.
I guess I went back in and said, well, how do I do due diligence in something I don't even know how to do? But then I thought, wait a minute. Later on, this due diligence thing it meant something. He's telling you, look, don't worry about everybody else. You sit down and figure out what you want to do, how you're going to trade, make your own strategies, make your own way of trading, have your own time of trading, how to manage you during trading. That's what he meant. That's
Yeah, make it
exactly what he
yours.
meant.
Figure out how to make it work with your personality and how you see the market and what you can best execute.
Oh yeah, because I mean I've been through a few laptops. Like, oh no, oh no, you know, we've all
I've been
done it.
through a few wine bottles.
Yeah, there you go. But I mean, it's like,
Not anymore.
and I get stories all the time. Like people tell me, man, I threw my laptop out of my window. I'm like, what? But that's the truth. It happens, and it makes you so mad that you're just done, you know, and you think there's something wrong with you personally, but it's really not nothing wrong with you personally. It's just a mindset. You have to go back and redo you. You have to go back and sit down and wipe out everything you've learned about how about being angry and all that. You just got to wipe all that out. Start getting up, walking away, and then if you've got people in your life that are, um, telling you that you're never going to make it, they're negative, you're arguing with them, that's not going to work for you. If you're dating somebody that says, "Oh, you're never going to be a day trader," you need to tell them, "Look, this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. You're either with me or not." Because support systems you have to have in life. We all have those. If you don't have a good support system to start with, it's going to make your trading a lot harder.
Yeah, I love that. I totally agree.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, it's like, if the person you're with doesn't agree with it, then you're just going to let them know, look, this is what I want to do. Now, there's another side of this too. If you're doing like evals with companies, and I've seen this a few times where the boyfriend takes the eval, it doesn't tell the girlfriend, but it's a joint account. It's yeah. When when someone sees the checking account and you've already, taken 150 evals, she's gonna be mad.
Yeah, the credit card bill comes and it's like, "Woo."
Yeah. And I tell people all the time, that is one of the worst things you can do. Don't, even though that you're going through a journey, don't lie about your journey to somebody. Don't lie to your spouse. Don't lie to your girlfriend or fiance or significant other. Don't, because it's going to make your relationship terrible because they know you lied to them about it. But just keep it honest. Hey, look, I'm going to take an eval because I want to try this. Oh, I failed the eval, but I'm going to do it again. Do I have the money to do it again? Talk about it. Have a conversation with people, because the worst thing you can do is hide something from someone, especially somebody you care about.
And that puts like shame and fear around it, which is not at all helpful emotions and
No,
experiences.
because I'm telling you that right there, I've already seen it with several people through my course of owning a business. And I've actually mentored a few couples on this that's come to me and said, he won't stop. Can you help me? I'm like, yeah. So, and I just tell people, look, please be honest with the other person. Let them know what your plan is. Let them know what you're doing, and don't lie. And that way your wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever significant other doesn't get up and say, "Hey, what's this?
Yeah, we're not safe. Yeah.
Why are we what's all this money going to?" And I think there's a reality there that people need to understand, and it will help. And relationships, if you want your relationship to flourish, you've got to be honest with each other anyway. So you don't want to talk, you don't want to lie to them about your trading.
And if you really want to do trading, you want it to be something that your partner can be with you on. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, that's great advice, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, if your partner's not involved in your trading and doesn't understand it, because the 99% of the time, guys, what you'll hear mostly from people, it's gambling. They
Yeah.
say it every time. It drives me nuts. The
Yeah.
people who call market trading gambling don't know the markets anyway. So
Right.
you're wasting your time talking to these people. It's like
That's
talking to a
judgment.
wall.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like if you throw me in, if I'm walking down the aisle at Walmart with 50 people, one person there might know what I'm talking about. And it's like with families. Our families don't know either. And our
No.
friends don't know. But it's not their fault they don't know. It's just the way the world is. The market's kept a good secret. And we're taught to do, I guess, in my theory is this. When your mom and dad have a baby, right? They have you, right? You grow up, you got to get good grades, go to school, get good grades, go to senior prom with some girl who's pretty. and then you play football or whatever. And then you do sports in school. You grow up. Your parents want you to go to college, right? You go to college, you get married, you have a child, you get a house, you're in debt. You get cars, boats, toys, all this kind of stuff. Okay. That's the American dream, but it's really not the American dream because we're taught this because the society and the system teaches this to keep you working jobs. It's all it is. Go get old, get retired, give your kids your money and die. And that to me is craziness when you can say, okay, day trading, I can day trade, I can travel, I can be financially free. I don't have to live by the rules that everybody else lives by as a day trader. Nobody does as day traders. I mean, I've got friends that make really good money in day trading. They don't live by any rules. They do whatever they want to do. But I mean, they pay their bills and they're responsible. But even if you're only making a certain amount of money a month, it just offsets what you're doing for now until you get to that professional level. Once you get to the professional level, you'll be like, why did I work for this guy all week long like I used to?
Yeah.
I worked for $2,000 a week, for a guy every week. And I thought, man, I'm out here killing myself. $2,000. So I walked in his office one day and told him I quit. He goes, you can't quit. I'm like, I'm done because I can make $2,000 in 10 minutes. I don't need you anymore. Well, thanks for the job though, and that's the way it works.
It's a beautiful growth opportunity.
It's a beautiful thing. And it's a really good thing, for the markets. And we're making different accounts with our stuff that we have at BluSky. We got a lot of different things coming out. We're going to get bigger and bigger and better and better. And we always tell people when we put something out, we'll get a lot of flack from it sometimes that they don't like or do like. But we always go back to the drawing board and say, well, you know what? Okay, we hear you as a day trader because I hear you. And I can make these changes to fit that. We can make changes. Nothing's in concrete. I can go back and make changes to help my traders.
I love that you take that feedback and you're fluid with the way the company is growing. That's smart.
Most definitely. And, our customer service is next to none. And people tell you it's got almost a 5-star rating on Trustpilot. And there's a reason behind that because we get out there and we say, look, you can ask us these questions. We will get you answered. It will get done because I'm very big on helping others. And they're not just, to me, with BluSky, I tell people all the time, you're not just a trader to me or customer. You're part of a family now. So if you're going to grow in this family, you just got to learn, you got to go to the classes, you got to let us coach you, and you just got to be part of something. And nobody wants to trade alone, man. It's terrible.
Yeah, trading can be very lonely. So having a supportive community to bounce it off and feel like the journey you're experiencing is normal within this scope is really very helpful for a person's emotional stability through this journey. So that's a wonderful part of BluSky, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's the truth because with my journey, I hated trading alone. So boring,
Yeah, I'll definitely link BluSky in the show notes for this so that they can find your company and research the options that you have for different funded accounts because you do have multiple different options with different settings and stuff. And it's all very cleanly laid out on your website, which I really appreciated that it was easy to read and find information about. So well done. And we'll definitely put all that on there. And I love that your Discord is free so that people can trade with you and learn amongst that community. That's awesome. Well, today we're out of time, but thank you so much for this, Mike. I can tell that you have been in this world for quite many years now because you absolutely are paying it forward, which is amazing. All right, everyone, take care and happy trading. Bye.